You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out for your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Welcome, Single Smart Female, to Show 51. I am Jen Burton, your host, joined by my co-host, Steph. We will dive straight into our listener question.
This question comes from Ms. Frisky in Philly, and she writes, Hey, Jen and Steph. So I've been seeing this one guy for a little over 2 years. I've dated others while seeing him, but he's always been there and is so sweet to me. The sex is unlike anything I've ever known, and we really enjoy hanging out with each other. Neither one of us wants to move in with each other or get married, but he refers to me as first place girl. This bothers me now. I'm not seeing anyone else, but am pursued very hard by a couple of men. I'm toying with actually dating one because of this dilemma, but I don't want to. I've asked my guy if he would be honest with me if he sleeps with anyone else, and I think he would. Operative word being think. I like him a lot, and I think he likes me too. I want him to understand what a big deal it is that I'm not seeing anyone else. He reminds me all the time about what a single guy he is. It's demeaning, but I can't tell him that. He's gotten past my candy shell to the soft center. He's never going to get another woman like me, or a woman who looks like me. I want him to stop saying things like, I'll give it to you whenever I see you next, and instead say, I'll give it to you on Tuesday. What do I say? What do I do? I'm completely distracted by this. Ugh. I want more, but I don't know what more I want, or how to ask for it because my casual feelings about him have changed. I would so appreciate any thoughts you could throw my way. I'm just miserable with this conundrum. Thank you. Extra information she'd like us to know. Is the open relationship really the best thing for me? I want to be free, but not in an open relationship.
All right. Thank you for this really great question. There's so many pieces that we can dive into here, Steph, but as much as I want to dive into it, I kind of feel like you have some good information about being in a relationship that it hasn't been technically defined as a relationship that, for a long time with Latin Lover, you were...
we weren't seeing anybody else, but we weren't in an exclusive relationship.
Exactly. And I know that he would bring up certain things that made you feel uncomfortable, and you had to ask him to stop bringing those certain things up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that piece of information, if you'd be willing to share it with Miss Frisky in Philly, would be very helpful to start this conversation off with.
Okay, so what I think you might be referring to is near the beginning of us dating. Okay, and to be fair, it wasn't just him bringing this stuff up. I also asked questions that I didn't want the answer to, which can be very dangerous. Of course, when we first started dating, we were not dating exclusively. We were both seeing other people, and I knew that he was seeing somebody else because we had known each other prior to dating and all of that kind of stuff. And so...
You knew he was seeing somebody else, but he wasn't in an exclusive relationship.
No, he was not in an exclusive relationship with her. And it had started right around the exact same time that we had started seeing each other. And we ended up getting into this, not deep, gritty details, but details of the other relationship that he was in. And when I say relationship, all people people are in relationships.
When you're dating somebody, it's a certain type of relationship, exactly. Whether it's exclusive or not.
Right. And it killed me to hear about any of that. And I was like, okay, wait, we need to stop. I see that, I instigated this conversation and my curiosity is strong. However, that this is not going to work for me. And I don't want to share any of these kind of details with you either. The only way that we can make this work is if we're honest with each other on the level of we are not in an exclusive relationship, but not sharing whether or not we're sleeping with somebody else, what it's like to spend time with that other person, you know, how they make you feel, that kind of stuff. Never okay. It's not okay because it's not relevant to your relationship between each other.
Yes, it's not helpful. And
no.
We think we want to know everything as women, but the truth is that we don't. We like it when a man's attention is on us. So having information that interferes with that attention is not helpful, no matter how open-minded we are. Now, I can see there might be a few women that actually get turned on by that, but I'm going to say the majority of women that I've worked with, and knowing myself as well, I don't want to hear about the other women that you're sleeping with. I don't want to hear about the other women that you're dating. I don't want to be referred to, as Miss Frisky and Philly put it here, I don't want to be referred to as your top girl. Okay. Yeah. I totally own the fact that I've already decided in my head that, you know, I know that you're dating other people, but I'm not going to dig deeper into it because it doesn't benefit me on any level. We just have agreed that may be the case. And in fact, that's what I assumed about my husband when we were dating, that he was dating other people, but I didn't dive into it. Little did I know I was actually wrong. He wasn't dating anybody else at all, but I had already accepted it. So I was good with it. I didn't inquire more about it. I didn't want to know more about it. When I didn't hear from him for, weeks at a time, I just assumed he was with other women, and it didn't matter. I just let it be that. I didn't dig deeper because a lot of the times when we say we want to know more and if we just know we'll be okay with things, we're fucking lying to ourselves.
Yes, very much so. And that's how I was, I was just super curious about it and I wanted to know some things. And we had a friendship prior to dating. So it wasn't out of the realm of things we would talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But our relationship changed and my feelings for him changed.
Refresh my memory. Did you ask him to stop talking about certain things?
Oh, yeah. I straight up said, I was like, so we were in the middle of a conversation about the other woman that he was seeing at the time. And he even indicated that what we're doing, what me and this other woman are doing is nowhere close to what you and I have going on in an emotional sense. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it flips my shit. And I basically told him, it's flipping my shit. And I don't want to, because it was so early. We had literally just started, and I wasn't ready to stop seeing other people. I wasn't, sleeping with anybody at the time, but that doesn't really matter, right? I still wanted to keep my dating options open. And if I'm going to do that for myself, then I'm not going to ask somebody else to shut whatever they're doing down until we know kind of where we are. But still, knowing that information was so upsetting to me. I don't ever want to know about another woman, how another woman makes you feel.
Mm-hmm. In a romantic context, unless it's way in your past. Exactly.
With that, I had to I had to own the fact that I opened up that box, right? And then I just shut it very quickly. I was like, all right, look, we can't talk about this kind of stuff. I don't want to share these things with you. I don't want you to share these things with me. I definitely want us to revisit the exclusivity conversation when it's appropriate, because clearly neither one of us are ready for that.
Yeah, I get that. So what I'm hearing with Miss Frisky and Philly as well is that this has actually been going on for her for 2 years. And it sounded like at the beginning she was cool with it. But as she has developed more feelings for him, and that happens a lot, especially when they're an extraordinary lover with you, because it's a very intimate place to be with somebody. And yes, we definitely as women can take on lovers, and I think we should. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge that we are emotional beings. We're not purely physical.
Right.
So those physical, sensual feelings you have are going to play into your emotions at some point, and it's likely, and I like to say, don't keep somebody as exclusively a lover for no more than 6 months. For some women, it might be actually a lot less. Now, I'm not going to say there are not women that it can be a lot more. It's very situation dependent, but I truly feel most women develop emotional feelings relatively soon once especially with a great lover. And I would put a stop right away. Just because he's a great lover doesn't mean you have to be tolerant of everything that he's willing to say. And you can say something to him like, you know what? At the beginning, I thought that this was the right thing to do. And I acknowledge that we're not in an exclusive relationship, but it doesn't turn me on to hear you talk about me being your first place girl. It doesn't turn me on to constantly be reminded about you being a single man. I know you're a single man. I don't need you to remind me of that, because it's almost as if you're rubbing it in my face for some reason. And I would rather just focus on enjoying our time together if we choose to be together.
I did have that similar situation happen to me.
Okay. Yeah.
As well.
I was thinking you did, but I couldn't remember exactly for sure. So remind everybody.
Honestly, I'm trying to remember myself at this point. I tend to block things out. It's kind of weird. Hopefully we can catch it, bring it back up for you. But I do remember getting very upset with Latin Lover a couple of different times, because he would, so as things progressed, we ended up spending a lot of time together, and we weren't seeing other people, but we still were not in an exclusive relationship. And that's kind of a gray area. It's not something that I would recommend.
It's hard.
It's very hard to do. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard place to be, and it's hard to do. And there were extenuating circumstances involved there, but it didn't make it any easier on either one of us. So with that, he would make these, gosh, I don't even remember exactly, but he would make these little comments, and I would get really pissed. And I'd be like, look, I have never put anything on you. I've never indicated that we are something that we aren't. I know what we are, and you don't need to rub it in my face.
Or you don't need to,
Yeah.
just because what it is, it's a constant reminder. It's like, I'm just making sure we're still here.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're still on the same page, because what I can guarantee you has happened.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. What I can guarantee you has happened is he's had a woman in his past that went ahead and assumed things that he wasn't ready to step into.
Yes. And that's what I said. I said, look, I understand where we are, and I understand where we're not. However, if we're going to continue talking to each other the way that we are and spending time with each other the way that we are, I am not going to promise you that my feelings aren't going to grow.
I had a similar statement with my husband too while we were dating, funny enough. Well, actually, I've talked about it on the podcast before, but yes. And that's a very powerful statement to make.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're owning who you are as a woman, that even though you agreed to this one relationship, you're not assuming another one, but that doesn't mean that you don't have feelings and they can evolve.
Right.
You're owning exactly who you are in that moment.
Exactly. And it's not like, I get it, nobody wants to be responsible for hurting another person. But you can't guarantee that somebody's not going to get hurt. You just can't. And to have to keep checking in with them and reminding them that, like, hey, I know that I'm talking to you like I care for you deeply, but I just want to remind you that we're only in this space and not in this other space. It sucks.
Now, I know we think that men exclusively do that, but actually a lot of women do it as well. They're always asking me, I need to make sure that he understands we're not in a relationship together.
I feel like that's a guilt thing.
Yes. Well, I think it might be a guilt thing on both ends. Yes.
Yeah.
So ladies, you don't have to do it with men. You don't have to constantly remind them. And for our gentlemen listeners out there, you don't have to constantly do it either, because all it is, especially, it's okay. People's feelings are going to change. Some people will start to like each other more. One person will like each other more, like the other person more. And then the other person's feelings will start to wane. It's part of life. as clear as we can be. We can be overly clear, which can dilute romantic potential. But even with the proper amount of clarity in what we're saying to each other, we cannot guarantee feelings all the time. So the best thing you can do in these situations is honor yourself and ask for what you want. Just because at the beginning you were all on board about how the relationship was set up doesn't mean you have to continue to be on board by how he directs things with you and how he wants to still make sure that you are on the same page. Now, with all of that said, there's some much deeper issues here. And one of the things that concerns me more than any of it is, are you ready to admit that you're not really into being in an open relationship?
Right.
And I know that there's a push out there for women, especially in a lot of it, I'm not going to lie, it's coming from men. There's a push out there from men for women to explore different ideas of relationships. But you've done that and you've decided that you want something a little bit different. And it's okay to own that. Then the second piece of this is that I do not want you to be exclusive any longer to somebody who's not exclusive to you, which he has made abundantly clear. Now, obviously, he likes you. He likes you a lot. I don't disagree with that. He probably will never be able to find better.
Mm-hmm.
I have no disagreement with that whatsoever. My thing is that if he's not your guy right now, your man right now, that you stop hiding behind a romantic relationship that's only partially there, because that's you playing small romantically. That's you denying yourself. You even said you have these guys that are pursuing you really hard. Yes, absolutely. Open up your options to one of them. Open up your options to other men, especially men that you don't normally date. Really use this opportunity to explore stuff and allow yourself to be treated better than you've ever been treated before. Because just as Steph has mentioned in previous podcasts, Latin Lover was phenomenal in bed. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Magic has had a pretty profound effect as well.
Also very good.
Yes. Also, and has provided a different level of romance, something different that she's getting the opportunity to explore. So when she comes to the end of this lifetime, think of all the things that she gets to take with her, because we don't get to take our things with us. We don't get to take our money with us. We get to take our memories and our experiences with us. And what I want to encourage women to do is to live their romantic life differently. And to admit sometimes that just because everybody else is doing it, especially this whole millennial generation of boning guys, which fucking still drives me crazy to think about. But yes, explore who you are romantically, but it's okay to also, when you've explored part of it, to realize, hey, maybe that wasn't for me.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's going on here is you're realizing, being exclusive to a man who is not stepping up to be in a relationship with you is shutting down your option with him, but it's also alienating all the other romantic potential in your life. And something that could be even more promising than what you've been experiencing over the last 2 years.
Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com.
Okay, Lover Girl, welcome to segment 2 of today's show. And we're talking about sex.
Baby.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Did I tell you we're now on Spotify as well?
Shut the front door.
Yes.
Serious?
Yes, we're on Spotify.
Oh
Pretty cool, huh?
That's so exciting.
Yes, very
Get
exciting.
added to a playlist, like favorites and stuff like that.
If you haven't added us to your playlist yet as your favorite,
On Spotify?
Well, not even Spotify, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yes.
You're
You're fired unless you do it within the next 10 minutes.
Let us be your favorite.
Yes, we want to be your favorite. No, we're talking about sex, and I'm really excited, Steph.
About sex? Me
Yes.
too, man.
Well, yes, of course I'm excited about sex. Are you kidding me?
No, tell me what you're excited about.
Okay, so as you know, over the last year, things have been on the heavy side in my personal life. We've had a lot of medical challenges within my family, and there were a lot of environmental happenings that also affected our. There was a lot of shit going down in romantic fairy godmama land. It was a lot. It was quite a bit. It was very overwhelming. Thank goodness I have work like I do doing Single Smart Female, working with my clients, things to offset when things offset my personal life if my personal life gets really heavy. But I'm very excited to say that I talked about before, my husband had some medical issues. He's doing, as of now, much better.
That's awesome.
Sometimes it seems like he's heading back in a not so fun medical direction. And I'm like, oh shit, please no. And then my sister had a serious medical thing come up, and she's only 30, and that was extraordinarily heavy as well. But okay, good things happening with my husband, and the update is he's getting a vasectomy.
Ooh, this is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Kid-free sex.
Yes. So I'm not gonna lie, Steph. A while back, we spent years after having our first kiddo debating whether or not to have another kiddo, and I was like yes, and then no, and then yes, and then no, and then finally we decided at 40 that was it. I was like, I know that in medical terms they consider you a geriatric pregnancy, which I think is
I hate
stupid,
that.
I
That's
know,
the most ridiculous thing
shit I've ever heard. But
Ugh.
I also decided that was my cutoff date, and that at that point I was putting this whole back and forth notion to bed. I was just I didn't
no more kids.
No, we're done. I'm good with what I got. We're gonna have other adventures in our lives, our lives, whatever. And
it depends on who you talk to.
Exactly.
There are a lot of different theories on that.
True enough. With that said, he told me recently that he is willing to do that, because I've been considering whether or not I wanted to get my tubes tied, and I'm starting to look in, the different options of all this, because I have been paranoid as shit about getting pregnant since I decided I didn't want to have kids anymore. Because
yeah.
Hey, I don't want to have kids. Now I'm really scared. Anytime I'm around my ovulation at all, I'm like, please, just stay away from me.
Anytime I'm around my husband naked, I'm like, please, just stay away from me.
I'm just kidding. He's afraid he's going to look at me the wrong way and get me pregnant. So,
hey, some kids are told that if you sit on a man's lap, you get pregnant. You heard that story?
Well,
Oprah told that story.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to think when I was growing up as a kid that when you kissed at your wedding, that's when pregnancy happened.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It was very interesting. It was
magical.
So apparently I had no explanation for all these unmarried pregnancies. I didn't know
pregnant. Oh, yes. That
unwed.
Yeah.
Unwed pregnancy. Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very confusing in my head.
Wow,
and then, my cousin told me about what a condom was, and I wish she would not have shared that information. That wasn't hers to share.
Do you know what? You just made me think about this. When I was a kid, I would watch Dirty Dancing all of the time. And a young kid, I don't know, I was probably
I loved
8 or 9.
I love that movie. Still.
I loved that movie too, and I would watch the TV version.
Hey, side note,
yes?
my dad went to high school with Patrick Swayze.
Oh my God. Yes. I love Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze took ballet, and they used to make fun of him for that, but he was really awesome because of it. Yes.
Amazing. Well, so when I would watch that movie, Dirty Dancing, they would always talk about how Penny got knocked up by Robbie the Creep. Mm-hmm. And I guess in my mind, I thought that maybe he hit her or something.
Oh.
Knocked up did not register.
Yes,
there was this huge portion of the story that I made no connection to.
Yes.
I just really liked the dancing.
Yes. It was
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
That's right.
I felt like I knew them. But clearly, I did not know what was going on.
That's such a great movie. Okay, I've got to go watch that. Thanks, Steph.
No, you're welcome.
So with that said, yes, my husband, the awesome man that he is getting a vasectomy. And that means hopefully
stress-free sex.
Yes. Now I have to go through, I don't know all the logistics. I don't know how long it actually takes afterwards. I need to do a little more research, but I am super excited about that. And I love when men take care of their women like that. And I feel very spoiled right now in such a good way.
So basically, he didn't want you to have to go through getting your tubes tied and all of that when he could do a simple procedure.
Exactly. And I hear so many stories of men who do that for their women, and it really warms my heart and reminds me how that there are so many men out there that truly, truly care about the women that they are with.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's my exciting update right now.
That is
Care
super
for sex.
That is very exciting.
Yes.
I right now I don't have so much of an exciting sex update
Okay.
as a funny story that I just recently thought about from years ago.
Okay.
So a long time ago, I had just been dumped by this man whom I adored.
Okay.
I just really thought that this was going to be the guy. And oh my God,
I have a few of those.
I've had a few of them too. So I was feeling kind of low, but wanting some attention. And there was this guy that I knew. We'll call him my sexy sax man.
Okay.
Because he played saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And he was most definitely what's the word? Like the poster boy for player, right? Like if you picture a player, this is the guy to a T.
Okay. Sexy sax man.
Sexy sax man.
Okay.
I was not interested in his personality because it wasn't that great.
Was it the way he played his sax?
Yes, pretty much. I wasn't interested in anything other than like I knew. Oh, total side note.
Yeah.
I almost interned for him. This is so creepy. But I almost interned for him and he hit on me like so hard. I was like, I didn't intern for him for other reasons, but it was definitely going to be like, no, he's not significantly older than me.
Really?
No. He was just in an industry that I wanted to be in.
Okay.
But then I figured, the way that he, oh man, this is turning. This is not where I was trying to go with this because, this is not a Me Too situation. Just
Okay.
throwing that out there.
Okay.
Anyways, so the point is that he hit on me so hard that I knew that if I wanted that attention from him, I would get it very easily.
Okay.
And so I called him up or texted him or something, and we had a one-night stand, and it was really very funny. The next day, he was telling me, we were just talking about things, and he's all, anything that I said that I liked, he liked the opposite, right? Like, so if I like Cabin in the Woods, he likes Vegas on the weekends.
He was intentionally disagreeing with you?
Intentionally, what's the word? Being incompatible with me.
That's what I was saying. He was trying to establish incompatibility. That's funny. I've never heard a guy do that.
Oh my God, it was so funny. So, and I was like, whatever, because in my mind, I got what I needed.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't trying to date this guy because, again, personality wasn't what I was after at that moment. I just needed a little extra attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so I leave totally good. Everything's great. The next day or the 2 days later or something, I don't know, he asked me out to dinner. I was like, okay. So I go out to dinner with him.
Mr. Incompatibility.
And we, get through the main course, and this is the best fucking part. So he starts telling me as we're wrapping up our entrees how he's been having so much trouble, connecting with people, and how he really thinks he has like an emotional issue and needs therapy. And he's just like laying it on super, super thick. And how, I just don't think I can be in a relationship right now. and blah, 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 blah. And he just keeps going. It's like a fucking
Sounds like a train
Jude
wreck.
Law movie.
Oh, really?
You know, like you see at the beginning, you see the guy at the same restaurant with a different woman telling the same story over and over and over
I
again.
know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and I'm like trying not to laugh. And I just let him keep talking. And the waiter comes by and he hands the waiter his credit card before even getting the check.
Mm-hmm.
And the waiter's like, can I get you anything else? And I was like, yes, I will have creme brulee.
Oh, that was perfect.
And his eyes just like bug out of his fucking head. And so the waiter goes to get my creme brulee. And I just wait and let him keep going. And then as I'm eating my dessert, enjoying it very much, by the way, I love creme brulee. If anybody, if we're ever out to dinner, you can buy me creme brulee. So then he says, he just gets so deep and dark and sad with it and blah, 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 blah. And finally I said, are you done yet?
I'm so proud of you, and that was years ago.
He's like, yeah. I was like, look, I just got dumped. You were a rebound. I'm not interested in trying to date you. Sorry if you got that impression, but you can really stop now. And he started laughing, and he was like, oh my God, I'm so relieved.
What an ass. Oh my goodness.
I'm like, BS, that does not work. That shit does not work. Maybe it no, I guess.
No,
All right,
okay,
you're looking at me like it does. Okay.
It does work on some women.
On some women it does. Yeah.
Okay. I hate the whole poor me pity party shit that some guys pull, and you ladies know I don't bitch about a lot of guys on here, but that's one that really gets to me. But what gets me, and I don't understand, did I miss something there? You have sex with this man, and then you hadn't called him?
No, I hadn't.
And he called you and asked you out to dinner to explain again why you can't be
to
together?
break up with me
again. What a fucking dumbass.
Well, he thinks so very highly of himself.
No, he's delusional. Fuck.
Oh, it was really, really very entertaining for me, and dinner was lovely. Especially dessert.
Okay, ladies, that's how you handle delusional dumbass.
Oh, we'll call him delusional dumbass instead of sexy sax man.
Delusional dumbass. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
As an adored woman, your romantic needs may change. Feel free to let him know, even if you agreed to something different previously.
This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share Single Smart Female with all of your single girlfriends. And if you would like to play around to learn more about Mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.